Thinking about moving to Brooklyn, New York? This is the episode for you. I've got Marcia Dufresne right beside me. Say hello, Marcia.
Hey,
This is Wanna Move There, the show dedicated to giving all humans the information they need to decide whether or not they want to move somewhere outside of the area they live. I am your host, Derek Bixler, realtor of 15 years here in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Say hello again and tell everybody the last movie you watched while I pull up your bio.
all right, in true Brooklyn style. What up? I'm Marcia Dufresne out of Brooklyn, New York. Last movie I watched in the theaters was The Matrix Resurrection. I love this series. The Cap Sam was a little disappointed, but the movie I really loved that I watched recently was The Tender Bar on Netflix. So it starred Ben Affleck, where it's based on a memoir, and it's about a young coming of age story in Boston, and of this. It's called the Tender Bar because the his Uncle Charlie, who is technically Ben Affleck, he's a bartender. So it's a play on the words, but it was such a good movie. I would check it
So it's good. You
out.
should watch. I should watch it.
Well, it was good. I really liked it.
What is it? R? PG-13?
I don't pay attention. My boys are older now. I don't pay attention to the ratings.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about it. You just turn whatever on. All good. And then The Matrix, you said it didn't quite live up to the originals. I also saw it and I would
Mhm.
agree. Why was that the case for you?
Okay, so Matrix, you want to see something new. I felt they gave us a lot of what we've seen before. I don't think I've seen anything new, and they kind I don't know. I think they kind of make Neo look like a old doofus.
Yeah, I agree. It was way too many callbacks, way too much very contrived and trying to play to like me and the people that used to like it. Just make a new cool movie. You don't have to maybe have him
Yes.
in it. I didn't even expect him to be in it, quite frankly. I didn't even see
Mhm.
any trailers or anything. I just kind of
Yeah,
went
me
to see it
neither.
on a whim.
I wanted to be totally surprised, so I didn't look at anything. Yeah, but I was disappointed. I'm like, give us something new. I mean, when we saw the first one with Trinity run up that wall, we were all blown away.
Is there a particular theater that you go to in Brooklyn to see a movie?
Oh man, yeah. So, well, as of last week, it closed. It's been here for years. So, the Regal. For you guys who don't know, the UA on Regal and UA on Court Street, the Regal closed, gone. That's the biggest theater here that we go to. The other theaters we have, it's like at City Point, or there are a couple of them now that are the dine-in theaters. But I mean, that was one of the other ones. There's another theater on Court Street, the Cobble Hill Theater. It's a little smaller, regular. I'm not sure if they moved to dine-in as yet, but yeah, that theater was the major theater. I'm hoping another theater buys it and opens there, but it'll be a huge loss for our community.
I'm going to pull up your bio and tell everybody a little bit more about you. You grew up in Guyana in South America. You came here as a teen and lived in the Bronx. What was that like in the Bronx? So, what's the difference between the Bronx and Brooklyn? Because I feel like a lot of people might mix those up or think they're the same thing or something that are from somewhere else.
Well, I mean, the culture in the Bronx and Brooklyn is different. When I grew up in the Bronx, I grew up in the Bronx in the 80s. So you had the rap culture coming up, and every borough was battling, we were the boogie down Bronx, so, your do or die Bed-Stuy, which I don't want to do or die, but I like Bed-Stuy. It's a different culture, it's a different feel. In the Bronx, there are a lot of different parts of the Bronx. You have your high rises, and then you have your homes further out, but it's mostly a lot of large buildings. Whereas Brooklyn, you have your cool little brownstone areas, you have Prospect Park, but the Bronx has Yankee Stadium, so maybe
And
they would.
still, Yankee Stadium, they haven't moved it or built a new one or anything?
They built a new one literally like across the street.
But is the old one still there or did they implode it?
I'm not sure. I should know, but I don't. Not a big sports fan. Sorry.
If they do implode it, you got to go watch that. I watched one they office building they imploded here, and it was pretty cool. And I got it on video, and my daughter loves watching it. It was pretty cool. But you got to run. They tell you there's a black like the plume of smoke's gonna come. It will come, and you will run. It's pretty crazy.
No,
So you grew.
I was around the World Trade Center 9/11, so I will not be going where any plume of smoke will be.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Don't need
I
to
can
get
see.
triggered with any buildings falling. So don't say that to any New Yorkers about going to watch buildings falling. Yeah.
This is
If
true.
you're
This
around
is
that
true.
time, we
Sorry.
don't want to be reminded.
My apologies to yeah. Never forget, isn't that? And I forgot. So my apologies out there for all the New Yorkers. That was a little bit insensitive, but you get my
Oh, it's all
drift.
right.
So you grew up in the Bronx and you went to the High School of the Performing Arts, where the movie Fame was filmed as a dance major. So you were a dance major there, and the show or the movie Fame, was it a show too?
It was a show. I don't know where the show was filmed, but yeah, I was there and they had filmed the movie there. I was actually one of the last occupants of the High School Performing Arts because they merged us with LaGuardia. They merged us with the High School of Music and Art into the Friarello H. LaGuardia High School of Music and the Performing Arts. That's now up by Lincoln Center. So both schools spent 2 years in our respective hallway schools, and then we merged into LaGuardia. So we were the first occupants of LaGuardia.
Huh. And do you have to be a resident of somewhere around there to go to those schools, or do people move there to go to those schools? Are they sought after places? Can people from other places go to those schools? What's the deal?
I think it's a New York City high school, so I'm assuming you need to be a New York City resident, but it's by audition. So you audition to get in, and you have to do a little dance routine or music or violin or a little monologue, whatever your talent is, and then you make it or you don't.
Gotcha. And there's only a certain number. So it's part of the school system, and you just have to apply to go there if you want to do something with the arts. So that's cool.
Hmm.
So did you make it? You do it as a
Yeah.
freshman? What if you didn't make it as a freshman? Can you try it your junior, senior year?
I think there were maybe a few spots open sophomore year, but I don't think they'd like to get you in after that because we're really disciplined about you following the structure or being ready. So
And what kind of dance did you do?
I did back then it was called modern dance. Now they call it contemporary, but we were based in the Graham School, the Martha Graham technique. But we were even if you're a modern major, you still took ballet. And after school, I was actually part of the Bronx Dance Theater for a while. So I'd go to school, then go to dance class for 3 or 4 hours, then go home, homework, and so from the Bronx we took the subway into Manhattan because it was in the middle of Times Square. We were on 43rd Street near
Wow.
Times Square back in the 80s. So if you could only imagine what was happening around our school area at that time.
Was that back when it was bad, quote unquote, or
CD. Oh,
before they?
absolutely. Yeah. CD is the word you're looking for.
Yes, yes, there you go, CED. And then you also went to university in Manhattan at Pace. Did you do dance there? Do they have dance
No, no,
things in places like that?
I mean, they had dance. I think they have dance. Pace is a business school. They have the fashion club. Actually, the fashion club is where I met my ex-husband. But that's another story. I went to Pace downtown, and I actually lived on campus. So I went from the Bronx to downtown Manhattan. That's when the seaport was the old seaport, but when it didn't get washed away by Sandy. And the seaport was our backdrop. All of the clubs in the city was our hangouts. And back then, the drinking age was still 18. So we were in all of the clubs, you know, on the weekends and hanging out. So it was good. And from downtown Manhattan, that's when I moved to Brooklyn. So I had my first apartment with one of my roommates, one of my friends from college, and I ended up staying.
Awesome. You loved it so much you couldn't leave. And you said you studied business management at college, and your favorite color is red, which I told you is also mine. If you had to pick a second favorite one, I told you I'm making everybody that says blue. You did not. Thankfully, you did not say blue, but I'm making everybody that says blue to give me a second one. So why not ask you what your second runner-up would
Black,
be? So
black. You
black.
probably see it a lot of black and red.
Okay. Do you wear a lot of black?
I wear a lot of black, yes.
And you have red on right now, right? Is that red or is that orange?
It is red.
Nice, bright red, which I like. It stands out. People notice it. Love it. And your favorite food is flan, which is the bomb. Tell everybody what flan is if they don't know. And I will tell everybody. Have you ever seen what's that movie called? Envy, with Jack Black and Ben Stiller. Probably not.
No.
It's a movie. The one Jack Black invents Vaporize, which is a spray that makes dog poop just
Oh my
disappear or
God,
any
yes,
poop just
yes.
disappear. You saw that?
I
And when
saw
they
that.
got rich, all they ate every night they had flan for dessert every night, and
I
and
saw
I
that.
like flan too. So tell everybody what flan is.
Well, flan. If you custard or pudding, if you know what pudding is, your Jello pudding that you get from the store. Flan is kind of like a pudding, but it has a sugar crust on the top because it's flambéed. You know, they flame it basically. Well, actually, no. Now I'm thinking about creme brulee. I'm getting my flans mixed up. Creme brulee used to be my favorite. Now I was trying to sneak in. No, so flan is not flambe at the top. It's some now a good flan. If you get a good flan, like up in the Bronx flan, it's bitter. Now that's a good flan. If your flan is not slightly bitter, then you don't have an authentic flan. Not from the Puerto Rican flan that we got, up in the Bronx. So that's where I got hooked on my flan.
Okay, yeah, and actually, I was confusing it
The
with the
creme
sugar on the
brulee.
top too. Yeah,
Uh,
totally. And I even know. All right, yes, but I have had it. I've had it without that too. But I'm glad I asked you too because I was myself envisioning the wrong thing. So, do you have pets? No pets. Have you ever had pets?
cats growing up, but yeah, my son's allergic to dogs and stuff, so no pets right now.